There comes a moment in everyone's life when the heart whispers a dream too big for the world to understand. That whisper is fragile, yet powerful. It carries a fire that can either be ignored or ignited. Many of us dream, few of us plan, and only a rare few take the courage to do. But what if I told you that your dream doesn't need to stay locked away in your heart? What if I told you that it can breathe, it can move, and it can become real? This journey from imagination to manifestation is not meant for the fearless, it's meant for the determined. We live in a world that applauds success, but forgets to honor the silent struggle behind it. But today, I want to remind you that behind every breakthrough is a heart that dared to dream, a mind that dared to plan, and a soul that dared to act. And if you are that soul, then this speech is your mirror, a mirror that reflects your potential, your strength, and your truth. So let's walk together on this path of transformation from dreaming it to planning it and finally to doing it. Every great achievement begins with a dream too big to keep quiet. There's something profoundly sacred about the moment a dream is born inside a human heart. It doesn't announce itself with noise. It arrives quietly, almost like a whisper so faint, so fragile, yet so powerful that it stirs your entire soul. That moment changes everything, even if the world outside remains the same. A dream is not simply a wish, it's a calling. It's a glimpse into the life you're meant to live, into the version of you that's buried beneath fear, self-doubt, and the noise of 1,000 expectations. That dream, no matter how unbelievable it may seem, carries the seed of your highest potential. People often misunderstand dreams. They think dreams should be practical, realistic, and attainable. But the truth is, if your dream doesn't scare you, if it doesn't make your heart race and your logic panic, then it's not big enough to transform you. Dreams that fit in your comfort zone don't make history, they maintain routine. The world will try to silence your dream before you even begin. It will mock your ambition, question your sanity, and remind you of all the reasons why it's too late or too risky. But here's the beautiful truth. The size of your dream isn't determined by the world's comfort. It's defined by your soul's purpose. Your dream doesn't need permission. It doesn't need applause. It needs you. It needs your belief, your commitment, and your willingness to protect it, especially when no one else sees its value. In a world full of doubt, your dream deserves your loyalty before your logic. You must remember that some of the greatest revolutions began in the quiet corners of a heart that dared to imagine something more. What you envision today, no matter how impossible it may seem, could be the solution someone is praying for tomorrow. But that can only happen if you choose to honor that vision. It's easy to silence a dream when life gets loud. When responsibilities weigh heavy and the road ahead feels blurry, we tend to place our dreams on the back burner. But dreams are not decorative. They are directions. They are reminders that you are not just here to exist, but to create, to evolve, and to inspire. There is a certain kind of magic in people who allow themselves to dream, even when everything around them looks ordinary. These are the ones who walk through life with eyes wide open, looking not at what is, but at what could be. And in doing so, they begin to bend reality with belief. You might wonder, but who am I to dream this big? The better question is, who are you not to? You were given this dream for a reason, and it wasn't to tease or torment you. It was given to you as an invitation to rise, to expand, and to transform your story. Sometimes your dream will make you feel isolated. Not because it's wrong, but because it's rare. Rare things are never common, and neither are those who carry vision in their bones. You will feel alone on this path, but that loneliness is often the sign that you're doing something revolutionary. The dream you carry is not just for you. It's for the people who will find hope through your journey. It's for the lives you will touch, the hearts you will heal, and the minds you will awaken simply because you said yes to the vision within you. Never underestimate the ripple effect of one person choosing to believe. So let the world call it crazy. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because in the end, it's not their approval that matters, it's your alignment with purpose. Their laughter won't echo as long as your legacy will. Their disbelief will fade, but your impact will remain. Great achievements don't begin with a plan. They begin with a fire. That fire may be dim right now, but it's still burning. It's waiting for you to breathe belief into it. And when you do, it won't just light your path, it will light up the world around you. Even if you can't see how it will happen yet. Even if the path looks impossible, keep the dream alive. Protect it. Speak to it. Write about it. Pray over it. Because a dream that's nurtured in silence will one day roar loud enough to wake up the world. A dream without a plan is just a beautiful lie. A dream, no matter how beautiful, remains suspended in imagination if it isn't anchored in action. It's easy to sit with your eyes closed and envision a life where everything has fallen into place. But life doesn't bend to daydreams, it bends to dedication. And that dedication begins with a plan. Planning is not a limitation, it's liberation. It is not the death of creativity, but the structure that gives creativity wings. When you make a plan, you are not betraying your spontaneity, you are protecting your future. A plan takes your dream from air to earth, from whisper to witness, from someday to now. But the truth is, most people don't fear dreaming. They fear the discipline the dream demands. They're in love with the fantasy, but not the framework. And that's where dreams begin to fade, not from lack of desire, but from lack of design. You must understand that every big dream is built one small habit at a time. It's not about giant leaps, it's about consistent steps. A plan doesn't guarantee success, but it guarantees direction. It gives you clarity in chaos, focus in fatigue, and purpose in pain. There's a false belief that planning is boring, rigid, or mechanical. But in reality, it is sacred. It is intentional. It is the love language of the dreamer who refuses to give up. When you plan, you're saying to the universe, I am serious about what I see. Your plan will never be perfect, and it shouldn't be. Perfection is the enemy of progress. What matters is that you start, that you commit to figuring it out as you go, that you understand success isn't built in one day, it's built every day, through ordinary actions done with extraordinary purpose. Sometimes your plan will break. Sometimes it will lead to dead ends. But that doesn't mean the dream is broken, it means the dream is being refined. Plans aren't meant to be prisons. They're meant to be paths. And if one path doesn't work, you pivot. You adapt. You rewrite the map, but you never erase the mission. A dream without a plan is like a ship without a sail. It looks majestic sitting in the harbor, but it will never touch the horizon. If you want to reach your destination, you must be willing to prepare the journey, even when you can't predict the weather. Planning isn't just about logistics, it's about commitment. It's about showing your dream that you're not just hoping for it, you're working for it. That you're not just thinking about it when it's convenient, but prioritizing it when it's not. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need a starting point. One page, one goal, 1 hour a day. When you focus on what's within your control, life begins to shift. Clarity comes with motion, and confidence grows with execution. Some people spend years waiting for the perfect time to begin, but the perfect time never arrives. It's not the calendar that creates your future, it's your commitment. It's your courage to plan, even when the outcome feels uncertain. You will face setbacks. You will encounter doubt. But when you have a plan, you have an anchor. Something to hold on to when the storm gets loud. Something to remind you that you've come too far to quit now. Something that whispers, this is still worth it. Every successful person you admire had a plan. It may not have gone smoothly, but it gave them direction. And every time they fell, the plan gave them a reason to rise. They didn't just drift towards success, they designed it. So sit with your dream, then rise with the plan. Write it down, break it down, map it out. Because the moment you stop leaving your dream to chance is the moment you start changing your life by choice. Action is the bridge between the dreamer and the doer. There comes a point in every journey where belief must take shape through motion. That point is called action. Dreams are sacred, plans are powerful. But without action, they remain trapped in the realm of potential. Action is the bridge between wishing and becoming. You can dream for years. You can write plans that look perfect on paper. But unless you're willing to take the first step, none of it matters. The first step may be small. It may be clumsy. It may even be invisible to the outside world. But to your soul, it is a declaration. It says, I'm ready. The beauty of action lies not in its perfection, but in its presence. When you act, even imperfectly, you begin a conversation with the universe. You send a signal that you are not just dreaming anymore, you are stepping into the arena. And the moment you step in, life begins to respond. The fear of failure will always try to stop you at the edge of action. It will whisper all the reasons why you should wait, why you're not good enough, why it's not the right time. But action is how you silence that fear, not with arguments, but with motion. You show fear that it doesn't control the steering wheel anymore. Waiting for confidence before you act is like waiting to be strong before you lift. It is action itself that builds strength. Every time you show up, even when scared, you become braver. Every time you keep going, even when unsure, you grow stronger. Action is the greatest teacher, the kindest guide. Action doesn't always feel grand. Sometimes it's sending an email. Sometimes it's waking up an hour earlier. Sometimes it's just refusing to quit. But these small decisions, done daily, stack up. They become the architecture of your transformation. They turn ordinary moments into defining ones. The most life-changing movements began with a single step. Not with certainty, not with applause, but with a deep, quiet yes. A yes to try. A yes to risk. A yes to believe that effort, not ease, is what leads to excellence. If you're waiting to feel ready, you may be waiting forever. The world doesn't need more dreamers, it needs dreamers who do, who fall and rise, who fail and try again, who dare to act when no one's watching. Because what matters is not how many times you get it right, it's how many times you refuse to stay stuck. Sometimes we glorify the end result so much that we forget the miracle is in the movement. Don't wait for the stage. Don't wait for the spotlight. Begin where you are with what you have, however messy that may be. Momentum comes from movement, not mastery. Every step forward, no matter how small, rewrites your story. You're not the same person you were before that action. You're becoming, you're evolving. You're shaping a future that didn't exist until you took that step. That's the power of action. It makes the invisible visible. There will be days when the results don't show, when the effort feels wasted, when the silence is deafening. But even then, the work is working. Action plants seeds you can't see yet. It activates a chain of events that often takes time to unfold. Don't give up just because the fruit hasn't arrived yet. Your journey is not measured by speed, but by courage. The courage to begin, the courage to continue, the courage to keep walking even when the road disappears beneath your feet. There is strength in every stumble. There is purpose in every pause, but the power lies in pressing on. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next step. The universe meets you where you move. Doors open when you knock. Bridges appear when you walk. Miracles happen when you act, not when you overthink. So move, even if your hands are shaking. Let your actions speak louder than your excuses. Let your efforts scream louder than your doubts. Let your movement become the message. Because the moment you choose to do rather than dream is the moment your life begins to shift from someday to right now. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. There is a silent force that quietly destroys more futures than any obstacle ever could. It is not rejection. It is not failure. It is doubt. Doubt creeps in like a shadow. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It questions your worth, your ability, your vision. And if you listen long enough, it convinces you to quit before you even begin. Doubt doesn't need evidence to speak. It doesn't wait for facts. It feeds on your fears and grows stronger in your silence. It masquerades as reason, caution, and logic, but its real aim is paralysis. Doubt wants you still. It wants you second-guessing. It wants your dreams buried under the weight of what if. We often imagine failure as our greatest enemy, but failure at least teaches us something. Failure refines, it strengthens, it informs. Doubt, however, only steals. It robs you of your progress, your peace, your purpose without ever giving anything in return. It is a thief dressed as a friend. There are people walking this earth with dreams they never dared to pursue, not because they lack the talent or tools, but because they doubted their right to even try. That's how powerful doubt is. It convinces people to shrink from their own brilliance. It turns mountains of potential into valleys of regret. You were not born to live in fear of your own voice. You were not created to hide from your calling. The dream that lives inside of you is not random, it's a roadmap. It's a clue from life itself that you have something sacred to offer. But doubt will do everything to keep you from trusting that. The truth is, no one is immune to doubt. Even the strongest among us feel it. But what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck is not the absence of doubt, it's the refusal to let doubt drive. You may feel doubt, but you don't have to believe it, you don't have to obey it. When you feel doubt rising, pause, breathe. Then ask, whose voice is this? Often the doubts we carry are echoes from others' parents, teachers, strangers, or society. Their fears became our limits. Their criticisms became our inner dialogue. But we can choose to rewrite that voice. Speak to your doubt with truth. Remind it of what you've already survived, of how far you've come, of every small step you've taken despite fear. Let your history of resilience drown out the noise of hesitation. You are more capable than you've been allowed to believe. Sometimes we think confidence is the opposite of doubt. But it's not. Courage is. Confidence is a destination, but courage is a decision. And courage doesn't wait for certainty. It walks with shaking hands and a determined heart. It says, I may not be sure, but I'm going anyway. Don't wait for the day when you no longer feel afraid. That day may never come. What you can do is build a life where fear exists but doesn't rule, where doubt visits but never stays, where uncertainty lives but doesn't lead. That is strength. That is freedom. You owe it to yourself to find out what happens if you don't give in to doubt this time. If you choose faith over fear, action over avoidance, hope over hesitation. What if everything you want is waiting on the other side of the doubt you've always listened to? The people who do extraordinary things are not fearless, they are just fiercely committed. They are the ones who doubt themselves but move anyway, who fall but rise again, who question their worth but choose to believe in their purpose more than their fear. You are allowed to feel unsure. You are allowed to tremble, but you are not allowed to give up on yourself. Not now. Not when your dream is still beating inside your chest. Not when you've come too far to turn back. Doubt may visit you, but it does not own you. Every time you silence doubt with action, you grow stronger. Every time you challenge it with truth, you become bolder. And every time you rise in spite of it, you inspire someone else to do the same. Your courage creates ripples that reach farther than you'll ever know. So when doubt comes knocking, don't shrink. Stand tall. Speak back. Move forward. Because while failure might humble you, only doubt has the power to haunt you. And you, dear soul, were not born to live haunted. You were born to rise. The universe moves when you move. There is a sacred rhythm to life that we often forget. We wait for the right sign, the perfect timing, the ideal circumstances before we take the first step. But what if I told you that the sign you've been waiting for is your own movement? That the moment you begin, everything around you begins to shift with you. The universe is not waiting to push you forward, it is waiting to respond to your push. It listens to action, not hesitation. It reacts to intention, not indecision. It moves when you do. And every time you delay your steps, you delay the magic that's meant to unfold. So many people wait for clarity before they begin. But clarity is not a prerequisite, it's a reward. It shows up after movement, not before it. The fog doesn't lift until you walk through it. The answers don't come until you start asking the right questions through action. When you stay still, life mirrors that stillness. Doors remain closed. Opportunities stay hidden. But when you take that one brave step, even if it's shaky, life leans in closer. It whispers, now you're ready. It starts aligning resources, people, and moments in your favor. Momentum is not found in thoughts, it is born in motion. And sometimes all it takes is a decision to begin. A small, imperfect action that tells life you're serious, that you're done waiting, that you're ready to participate in the unfolding of your purpose. The universe doesn't reward fear, it rewards faith. Not blind faith, but the kind that says, I don't know how this will work, but I trust that it will. The moment you move, you're not alone anymore. The forces you couldn't see start to arrange themselves on your behalf. Have you ever noticed how one step leads to the next? You speak up, and suddenly the right person appears. You apply for the opportunity, and something even better shows up. This is not coincidence, it's coordination. A divine choreography activated by your movement. But we often stay trapped in cycles of analysis and overthinking. We convince ourselves that waiting is wisdom, that stillness is safety. Yet, what we really fear is not failure, it's the unknown. But the unknown isn't meant to paralyze you. It's meant to awaken your courage. There's no such thing as the perfect moment. Life isn't waiting for you to be ready, it's waiting for you to be brave. There's power in the imperfect first step, because that step carries your belief, your hope, your willingness to co-create with life itself. When you move, you tell the universe, I trust you. And that trust becomes the signal that activates unseen forces. It opens paths you didn't know existed. It creates momentum you didn't believe you were capable of. That's how mountains begin to move, one step, one choice, one bold beginning. Too many people are sitting still, waiting for life to begin. But life doesn't begin when everything feels safe. It begins when you decide to show up anyway, to start with what you have, to build with what you know, to walk, even if the road ahead is not fully lit. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start moving. When you do, you grow into what's needed. You become who you were meant to be. By walking toward your vision, action is how you step into alignment with your destiny. There is a deep intelligence woven into the fabric of life. And that intelligence responds to energy, to faith, to courage. The more you move toward your dream, the more life responds with possibilities. It is not magic, it is momentum. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you. It's waiting to mirror your bravery, to echo your belief, to reward your risk. Don't stand still in fear. Stand up in faith. Because when you move, even if no one claps, everything begins to move with you. So here we are, standing at the edge of possibility, with hearts wide open and souls awakened to a deeper truth. The truth that dreams are not random. They are not foolish fantasies. They are glimpses of your destiny. They are messages from the divine whispering, you were made for more. You've been given a dream, not to decorate your thoughts, but to direct your path. That dream is your starting point. It is the spark. But dreaming alone is never enough. A dream is only the seed. It must be planted with a plan, watered with discipline, and grown through action. Planning, though often overlooked, is sacred. It's your way of saying to life, I'm not just wishing, I'm preparing. It turns your vague hopes into structured steps. It transforms chaos into clarity. And in your quiet moments of preparation, you are building the foundation for something extraordinary. But the plan must be followed by motion, because no dream comes to life through intention alone. You must do. You must begin, even if you're trembling. You must rise, even when you feel unsure. Action is the heartbeat of transformation. It is the soul's way of saying, I'm not waiting for permission, I am becoming. And yes, doubt will walk beside you. It always does. But let it walk. Just don't let it lead. Remind it who's in charge. Let your courage be louder than your questions, because doubt may visit your mind, but it can never define your destiny, not unless you allow it to. And remember, every time you move, life moves with you. Every small step, every simple effort Every silent act of bravery, it all matters. It all builds. The universe is listening not to your hesitation, but to your intention in motion. It doesn't follow stillness. It responds to steps. So dream the dream that refuses to let you sleep. Plan it like you believe in it more than your fear, and then do it. Even if you're scared, even if you don't know how, even if no one claps when you start anyway. Because this is your time, your chapter, your breakthrough. Don't let your dream die in the safety of what if. Let it live through the fire of I will. Let your story be the proof that people like you, people with heart, with hope, with history, can rise, rebuild, and rise again. Dream it, plan it, do it, and never look back. Because forward is where your purpose lives. And forward is where the world is waiting for the light only you can bring.